not here.
Are our phones turned on?
Yeah. No.
Nope.
Good idea. Is yours? Isn't either, is it?
It's on vibrate. It's on permanent vibrate. It's in my pocket.
Yeah, I think mine might be on Do Not Disturb, basically. Yeah, it's pretty much on permanent Don't Disturb, because I don't answer it anyway, so.
I just have people calling. I have recruiters.
I have people want to buy my house now that I'm not the one selling it.
Oh.
My first question to all of them is, where were you when I was trying to sell it? You were waiting for the market to collapse. That's what you were waiting for.
Yes.
Oh, well, that's good times. So, welcome back, Void City Reviews watchers, to the relaunch of the podcast. Is that what this is?
I think.
Sort of, I guess. We'll find out. Come on this adventure with us. I'm Dan.
Toast.
We are here again. Thanks to Berg
Yes.
of Shock and Awe for allowing the usage of the Shock and Awe studios. For all you watchers out there, I don't know, some of you might listen to this, some of you might watch it, who cares? That's where we are. That's what
Shock
that
and Awe
is.
Studio. Yep.
Yep. So it's kind of some behind the scenes if you ever want to know what the rest of that room looked like. It's fantastic.
It's great.
It's better than I got.
It's perfect.
It's awesome. Comics everywhere, all sorts of cool stuff.
Gets the job done.
Chuck Norris facts list on the wall. You can't go anywhere without it. 25 facts about Chuck Norris. We should say one per video. I don't want to do that. So you said you were coming in hot earlier today.
Yes.
You were. I was
right.
expecting a bit more of the hotness. But
Right. Well,
I think
I
we've
didn't-
cooled off at the restaurant beforehand.
I didn't want to get into it before we started filming. I wanted
That's true. Well,
to be hot at the time. So, Red Sonja, actually.
yeah. You mentioned two things to me: Red Sonja
And
is
Pan.
the first one, and Pan,
This is Berg's Red Sonja.
which is why it fell on its face. That's
fine.
appropriate. Highly appropriate.
It's just the box. The box isn't even open yet.
If you guys watch Shock and Awe, you know that happens. So that's a bad sign already. Anyways, Red Sonja.
Red Sonja. This is by Loose Collector and Executive Replicas. I bought mine directly from the manufacturer. I don't even have a ship notice yet. Berg got his from Entertainment Earth. Nothing against Entertainment Earth.
No.
They're just filling customer orders.
Oh.
He's had this for a week. I don't even have a ship notice yet.
Ouch.
Right.
That's not good. I mean, I gather lately from the McFarlane pages on Facebook that there's just shipping all around is just still in pandemonium.
There are.
It never seems to have gotten better, and I don't know if it's production problems, if it's
I think
still just shipping
I
is
think
a
it's
mess.
shipping. But
Logistics in general.
I don't understand. Because the other figure, Pan, that I mentioned in the chat,
Oh, that's a figure.
that is a figure.
Oh, okay.
Pan. I ordered Pan from P Bandai.
Pan from Dragon Ball.
Yes.
Who is Gohan's daughter.
Yes.
Yes.
I ordered her from P Bandai. It was a P Bandai exclusive, except Big Bad Toy Store orders their own quantity and then just marks up the price. Big Bad Toy Store, as of 2 days ago, I think, has their inventory and is shipping it. Again, I don't even have a ship notice yet. I'm like, come on, guys. I'm ordering direct from the manufacturer.
Still not.
And I'm not getting it first. Weirdly, McFarlane is awesome about this. They'll
Sometimes.
ship before street date.
I had that Flash set ordered, the entire bundle, like all of it, and people were getting that for about a month before mine even shipped.
It's
I
true.
don't understand that. They
I
said
also-
awaiting fulfillment. I'm like, but it's
I had that
yours.
experience once as well.
You have it, and you've shipped it to everyone else.
I think that was when I got the gold labeled Damien. I think I had that same experience. Yeah. But generally, McFarlane ships.
Yeah, they usually are pretty darn good about that. And I got 2 free figures with that lot too. That was pretty awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, I got, was that Hawkman and someone else? I can't remember. It was cool though. Ghostmaker maybe? Hawkman and Ghostmaker, I think.
Those are good.
Yeah,
Good for
like,
customs.
That's cool. Yeah, I want Hawkman for customs alone right there. It'll be nice. I do still have to open up all the Flash stuff, especially the Batmobile. I have to make sure I got a right and a left wing, because apparently that's a problem a lot of people are having, getting 2 lefts or 2 rights. So I need to figure out quickly if I got to get on the forums and ask someone to trade with me. I also want to see that gray canopy in person for myself. I've kind of avoided looking at it because some photos it just looks so bad. Other photos it doesn't look bad at all. I expect it'll be somewhere in between in real life, and it will depend on what light source you have. So
Sure.
I think in photos it's always going to look worse, especially if it's a flash photo.
Yeah.
No pun intended there. I mean, with like a flash turned on your phone. I don't know. I'm still a little worried, but that'll be a fun box to open up. We still got to go through that one day. That might just be fun to
Sure.
do for a podcast or something. Put that giant bat plane together. See how
boy.
big it is. I might need to do it here because I need room to do it. Otherwise, we're doing it in my parents' driveway. Because that's the closest place I have that's a big space near where my storage unit is. So, yeah.
So anyway, I'm a bit
Anyways.
miffed that I don't have more toys in my hands, and that people that bought from third party already
Yeah.
have the toys.
You have to live vicariously through their toys
I
for
want-
the time being.
I want his red Sony.
And Pan, man.
Pan. Yep.
Hey, you had me worried I was going to have to learn about 20 years worth of Dragon Ball
No, it's
history in order to have this conversation.
Super short.
That was much better.
it's about shipping, nothing else.
That's good. Because I haven't watched Dragon Ball since Dragon Ball Z ended when I was in high school.
There's good stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
The movies are good.
I just got too much to do now.
The Broly. You
like
haven't seen
you-
the Broly movie?
Like, I saw the Broly movie.
Okay,
I
good.
did see that because someone at work that I worked with actually like bought it for me. They just came to work. They're like, "Here, you need to watch this." I was like, "What?" They're like,
It's
"Yes, I
so
got this
good.
for you. Watch it at your house. Tell me what you think." I'm like, "Okay." That was pretty awesome. I feel like there's too much to do though. Like I said, we got to edit videos, we got to film videos, I got to review things. You got to read comics.
Fun time to relax.
You want
too.
me to draw comics again at one point someday because I would like to finish that. We might just have to do video about that whole project just to get me wanting to do it again or force me to do it because, I mean, that was a good script and it'd be fun to do it. And the second try I was working on was a lot better than the first one. So.
I'm sure if I looked at it now, I would hate the script.
You say that about you.
I say that 5 minutes after I save.
Let's talk about this. So we have a comic. We'll just start briefly. We're going to talk about comics today a little bit. So let's start off talking about our comic. It's called Void City Final Hour. So it's this comic. It takes place in Void City. Void City Reviews. It's about our characters from the website, Dan and Toast.
Yep.
So, you know, a lot of imagination going on already in this comic. I came up with a lot of that stuff, so don't blame this guy. He basically, we both came up with a story. I'm not great at writing dialogue. He's a lot better at that. So I give him a story. He gives me a script. I draw a comic, and then we put it together. We make comics. We got 2 issues in, but right after the first issue, the very first thing you said about it was, and I heard you telling Berg about this when we had it here in the store. You were like, the second I read it, when it was done, I hated it. And I was like,
It's true of everything I've done.
yes, and I know what you meant, but at the same time, like, I think it inadvertently crushed my enthusiasm a little bit.
Aw.
Like, I was so happy having printed copies, and it was,
It's
I'm like, oh
amazing.
my God, I've
It's
never had a
amazing.
printed one. I'm always online. Like, it's in my hand. Like, oh, look at that.
see,
It's in
for
color.
me-
It looks like these other ones.
Hate is my fuel.
Yes, I know.
So I'm like, all right,
I was hoping it would be like a week or so before you hated it.
Like, this is step 1. Now I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna take what I just learned making this
Yes.
and make a better issue 2.
Yeah, but I was like, it was that, and it was also putting it on Void. So we posted it on Void, and we got a lot of feedback about it, and there were some really good points that were made that we hadn't noticed, having been looking at it from one angle for so long, and I just was like, I can't start it here and then have such a vastly improved issue 2. It's gonna look like, it looks almost like 2 different people drew it, for crying out loud. Like, I leveled up everything so far. We have a different colorist, like everything changed. So restarting it again, it'll be good this time. We're gonna take all that stuff into account, and it'll be much better.
Okay.
Because I want you to read it and be like, I don't hate this immediately.
That is a high bar.
Because that will make me a lot more wanting to continue it. I don't want to make things that people hate, especially if it's one of the people that's making the thing with me.
I have
that makes
probably
sense.
a literal handful of stories that I have written and don't hate.
I mean, I guess I get that. I mean, looking back at the comics I've done on Void, there's maybe like 4 out of the like 50 of them that I would say are worth looking at. But Yeah, I don't know. Speaking of comics worth looking at,
Comics.
you were in your video earlier this week, this one right here, your last week's Comics Today video, you talked about a book called Steelworks, and you mentioned...
said it was vague.
Yeah, you said having some things to do, to talk about, and that
then
it would
didn't.
be too much, and you were just said, you kind of just trailed off with, I don't care. I just don't care.
It exists. I had more to say, but I don't care. I'm just gonna keep that to myself.
It actually is how a lot of the comics ended this week. Was I don't care. And I was
Most
like,
of it was like fine, and then there were
Yeah.
4 standout books that were so far better, and I'm like, oh, let's just get to the better stuff.
which is a good point because they were really cool books. You guys should check out the books this guy's into. There's some really good ones, and there's some really good ones to avoid. But this one, it sounded like you had a lot to talk about, and I wanted to know what that was because I sit and I
Right.
edit these videos, and so I watch them all, and I'm texting him the whole time like, what was wrong with it? What is it?
So in that video, I talk about not having read Superman titles for a couple of years.
I'm right there with you.
I was into Tomasi. Bendis comes on. I'm like, fuck this guy. They took the good writer, the best writer Superman's had in I don't know how many years, and he's gone for the sake of Bendis.
See, I stopped reading at New 52 when that ended.
Well,
Like I didn't even make it into Rebirth.
Tomasi
I was
was
mad at
great.
the blue boots.
if you get the collected hardcover omnibus thing, oh my god,
That one's
Super
good.
Sons. I'm getting that later this year.
Well, that's
the Super
probably the only
Sons
part
omnibus.
that I would have been interested in was young Jonathan Kent, and then Bendis came and ruined everything because he's Bendis.
The point is, I didn't read for years.
Yes.
I read one Philip Kennedy Johnson. I didn't care for him as a writer either. So he's been doing all of the Warworld stuff. I haven't kept up, but Superman has apparently come back with some technology from Warworld. He's given it to John Henry Irons. John has started a company. He's built this building that is taller than Daily Planet, which it's next
Yeah,
to.
right? It's right next to the Daily Planet, and it's humongous.
It's humongous, and then not in this frame. Whatever. But, like, you can't just build a building. This takes years. This entire comic, he's got a company, he's got a building. There are no employees anywhere in this comic. Who's in this building? Who works there?
Yeah, that's a good point. If he just started,
What are
like,
they
how is
doing?
he established? So it seems like they just needed the world to be at a certain place for the story they wanted to write. And they were
Yes.
just like, it's there already.
Cut
Cut
to.
stuff. Yeah, like,
Cut to the future.
and I get why monthly serialized comics about characters who've been around since the 30s and for some reason never age. I get why they do that, but at the same time, it does get annoying sometimes because it almost makes you just feel dumb sometimes. Like the stupid stuff that you're supposed to just like suspend your belief or just be
Right.
like, okay.
And I have a very hard time with that. I otherwise think, I'm not familiar with this artist, I otherwise think he's fine.
Yeah. You just got to get better idea of how to
work
draw.
closer with the writer
Yeah.
is ultimately. But
Or write in the book what is happening. If you're not
that
going
would
to
be
draw
nice.
it.
But anyway, like, you can't just go from zero to building.
Well, I mean, did you see the original Avengers movie? Tony went from zero to building.
Avengers.
Building that he stole all the power from New York illegally from, or whatever, at least he was, and then he unplugged it and plugged it in. And yeah, he has buildings all the time. He's just like, there's a headquarters, oh, there's a helicarrier, there's a skyscraper, it's all good.
Let's not even start with helicarriers.
Oh,
I have a lot of problems with that movie, and I'm apparently the only one.
which movie? There are several of them.
Well, Winter Soldier, I think it starts.
Where they crash 2 of them into Washington, D.C. and say nobody died.
Just the whole Hydra plan in general is just the dumbest thing. You're already in a position of power. What are you doing, Robert Redford? What are you doing? You've won. You've already won.
And it's still one of the better Marvel movies.
Everyone loves that movie, and I'm just like, the story makes no goddamn sense.
But it has the best action scenes with Captain America.
It's so dumb.
It has the elevator scene.
It's so dumb. That's where my suspension of I have so many problems with movies, with comics, because my suspension of disbelief is high.
I think you're in the wrong line of entertainment. Sometimes I think that way. Like, how come that happened? I'm like, he's a spider boy with web shooters. Like, anything can happen.
I can accept. So Spider Boy with web shooters. I'm okay here. You go above this, I'm gonna have problems.
But everything else is like above that. Like, I don't know.
So anyway, Steel. It's fine. Don't read it. It's fine.
Don't read it. It's fine. I just feel like they should have established more of what's going on here. Like John Henry Irons' whole history in 6 panels.
This was. I mean, it's well written. I don't know how much Michael Dorn has written before. I think there was an undeveloped.
Michael Dorn wrote this?
Yes.
Like Lieutenant Worf?
Yes.
What?
Dorn.
Oh. Well, I might be a bit better. I might give it a little more credit then. Maybe he hasn't been following comics for the past 35 years because he's too busy making his own.
He wrote Lana
Sci-fi
as
universe.
Engaged, so he knows.
Well, they must have given him probably like, here's 5 key Steel things to read, and here's like a spreadsheet of important events to remember. You can do this, you can't do this, and this has to be established.
Don't forget the Chinese Superman.
Oh, all the Supermans are there for
'cause we
some
still wanna
reason.
do something
There's
with
like,
him
who
someday.
the hell are all these? So I recognize Connell because he's got his 90s costume under his cool new Smallville jacket, which is what that is. Is that Supergirl?
Mm-hmm.
What is she wearing? What?
Clothes.
That's
Those are the
Super Twins? Who are they?
That just came back from Warworld. They're not actually in Kryptonian. They're something else.
And they have Dragon Ball tails for ponytails? Do
Do
they
they?
turn into monkeys in the moon?
What the hell is? I don't know.
They have monkey tails coming out the back of their heads.
I don't know.
That's weird. And that's Chinese Superman
Yeah.
with the yin yang S.
Looks
okay,
fine.
he's cool. That looks like whatever.
It's a nice update to a suit.
We're missing a few Supermans here. Where the hell is Jonathan? Oh, is he in Injustice World or whatever right now?
I guess.
Ah.
Who knows what time period this takes place
Oh, and
in.
I guess we're missing Steel and his daughter, or niece.
Well,
On
he's
the
on.
show, it's his daughter,
Steel's on stage. True.
and this, it's his niece. That's
Are
right.
they named the same? I thought she had a different name.
I don't know. I haven't watched.
I stopped.
I didn't watch really any of season 2 or 3.
I think we started to and gave up.
I didn't want to watch 2 anymore the second I realized it wasn't Doomsday and it was in fact Bizarro, and they took the cheap way out of having to not pay another person to be in the show. We'll just have the same guy play the bad guy like we did in Wolverine movie, and I don't know. I thought that was a cop-out. I'm like, you guys played with my emotions.
I have problems with most Marvel DC books.
Yeah.
Exhibit A.
That's probably why I don't read many of them anymore.
So I had a rant. That I did not put into the video because I'm like, it's fine. Just moving on.
Yeah.
But you were curious, and so I'll talk about it. It's a high bar.
Man.
Or it's a low bar. I don't know. Is it a low bar? I think it's a low bar.
I think it's a high bar. Because if it was a low bar, then you wouldn't care about any of this stuff. Like a low bar is what got us Honey Boo Boo on the Learning Channel. Yeah.
You ever finished Metal?
No. I did not finish Metal, and I did not finish Last Ronin either.
Is that
I'm still working on it.
intentionally?
No.
Are you?
It's just no time
'Cause
to
I
sit
am-
and read.
I fully admit I intentionally did not finish reading Metal.
No, I want to finish reading
Okay.
Metal. I just never have time anymore.
Last
between-
Ronin, however,
Yes, that is.
make some time.
Oh, it's right next to my bed.
Okay.
I just go to sleep now so early. I feel like an old man. I gotta go to bed like 7 o'clock every night now.
Oof.
Ugh. Well, I go to bed at 4 a.m. Good times. Did I say go to bed? I go to work at 4 a.m. I don't know what I said.
You say go to bed.
Oh boy. Go to bed.
Is it past your bedtime right now?
Almost. No. Not yet. No. Let's see, what else? So have you seen any new movies lately?
I have. Most recently, we've been renting stuff. My wife gets Amazon electronic credit. Been renting some stuff. Most recently, Scream 6.
Ooh.
She was a fan of the Scream series. I went along for the ride. Horror's not usually my thing. I think the new ones, so 5 and 6, I think are more horror, less comedy than the earlier ones. They're a bit more mystery.
I think they have
Maybe.
just changed some of the comedy, maybe. Like I think now it's all about being meta
Yeah.
instead of before it was all about having like Easter eggs or homages or
Yes.
stuff like that, like naming all the characters after Billy Loomis. His name is Loomis. Oh.
Yeah.
And the very first song that you hear in Scream is like the only song you ever heard in Halloween, which is "Don't Fear the Reaper."
Oh, I was
stuff
thinking
like
of
that.
Red Right Hand, which just is in almost all of the movies.
Is that it? First song? Maybe you hear that first. I don't know.
I don't know.
So you liked the new one?
I did. Yeah.
Hesitation.
Hesitation. I'm confirming.
Confirming.
I think the early ones were more mystery. It was more of a guess of who the killer is, and I don't know if I've just aged. Like I've seen enough movies that I can be like, well, this character has gotten enough screen time. There's not enough time to add anybody else, so it's got to be.
I mean, they talk about the rules all the time, about like horror movie rules, and that's
Yeah,
kind
but-
of like even they eventually fall victim to their own rules where
Right.
it's hard to keep it secret anymore. I guess we probably shouldn't talk too much about a lot of stuff in that movie, maybe not too many spoilers, but spoilers? Well, I guess we'll say if you don't want to see spoilers, turn away now or whatever, or hear spoilers. We're not going to show anything, but
It's an old enough movie that it's rentable now.
that's true. I guess we can talk about it.
We've put up a spoiler warning.
Yeah.
But, so Sydney's not in 6, which is
No.
fine. Gail is back
Yes, Gail is back
with
again.
Steven Tyler mouth now.
That's just been happening ever since that show she was on.
I didn't notice.
The women who live in Miami and drink wine all the time show or whatever that was called.
I think my wife watched that.
It's the only thing they did in any of the trailers for it on TV was just sit around drinking wine.
Jenna Ortega is in this more,
Yes.
which I appreciate. She has more of a character.
Yeah.
I liked the sister, Samantha, I believe. I liked her and the whole.
I'm terrible with names. Don't ever ask me for other than like the main character, and even then I might not remember other than
Well,
the
you
actor
nailed
who played
Sydney.
him.
You got that one.
She's been in like 5 of the 6 movies since I was 10 years old.
Right.
Like, come
yes.
on.
Yeah. So the sister, Samantha, not
Yes.
Jenna Ortega. I liked her. The whole hallucinating thing. Great angle.
I kind of wish he'd been in it a little more, but I feel like they didn't want to spend money on the special effect of making him young again for the whole movie, which is why he was just like a headshot in a reflection 2 times, and that was it in this one, really.
I think it was the same in 5.
Well, in 5, there was like his full body sometimes would walk
Was
up
it?
behind her. You'd see him there, like
I don't remember.
he'd be in mirrors and stuff, but it was a lot more like well lit and actual mirrors, not just like glass where he could be kind of see through. I just remember thinking that was a pretty decent young effect they put on his face to make him look like he was still that age.
But I liked it. Kirby being back was interesting, even though there's no way she should have survived movie 3? 4?
In Scream, if you don't see a body, you're not dead.
I know.
Which is why everyone still thinks Stu is going to come back, and I think
she-
eventually he's going to be all Frankenstein squish
So
face. But
She gets stabbed, and then there's like 20 more minutes of that movie before it ends. And I'm like, you.
she was crawling to the hospital,
Oh my god.
applying a tourniquet to her abdomen. I don't know how that would work. But I feel like that's going to be explained how she survived this movie. It was the same as Captain Mal in the end of Serenity from Firefly. Or she gets stabbed in literally the exact same place in this movie again. And it's almost like you see on her face, like the look in her face, it's like, really? Really? Right there? But they're going to probably be like, oh, you're lucky you got stabbed in the scar tissue. It didn't really actually do anything to you. You could just go home. We'll just tape this up. You're good.
It's fine.
Just go back to the FBI you magically joined. You were like, what, like a high school kid or something? Then you're magically just a full-blown, on your own, solo, flying
Yes.
on your own FBI agent?
Well, that's what's weird, is we don't know, we don't get outside confirmation whether or not the story that's told about her is real or not.
That is true, because the only person who ever investigates it is the bad guy and lies about it immediately. So maybe she's not an FBI agent and is just a psycho who was there and got interrupted because there were more psychos there that she didn't anticipate? Did we just figure out what the next movie's going to be about? Oh my God. Either it's going to be Gail as the killer eventually because people just keep murdering her boyfriends, or like, yeah, they gave her a boyfriend in this movie for no reason other than to have someone to like get murdered in front of her.
Yes.
Like, that was so funny.
So for me, and this is probably a stupid thing to do, because I saw Ghostface has his own credit, and it's not just the voice, because I think the voice is higher up in the credits, but I think there's a body, because whoever that is...
usually is.
Whoever it is tall.
Yeah, and it's not the person
that
it ends up being.
From the opening scene, I'm like, oh, based on this and how tall, it's not, it's clearly none of you people. You're not tall enough.
Right.
Which is not what I should be using, but it's how my brain works.
But that's how they got us in this one. There was 2 of them again, which we should have seen coming because there were 2 of them in the first damn movie.
Well, there's usually 2.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But
yeah, I guess there are usually more than one, huh?
Yeah, I thought it was largely good. What stuck out, and my wife commented that none of the returning characters died, and one of them definitely should have.
That is very true. Which one?
Chad.
Chad? What happened to him again? Which one was he?
He gets stabbed many times in the candy lobby, concession stand.
See, am I already forgetting this movie? Wow. Oof.
See, this is what happens to me.
I remember the chick on the train who got stabbed a bunch in like the guts, and I'm like, why is she always alive? Stop it. Like, worse than Kirby.
This is usually what happens to me, is I'll watch a movie, months later, you'll watch the same movie, and then when I have a conversation, I'm like, I don't remember anymore.
And now it's happened to me, because you saw it more recently.
Right.
But also, I think the problem is the same problem I have with the second Alien movie, which everyone loves the most. I love the third one the most, because it actually has characters that last the whole movie. You learn their names, and you actually, even though they're bad guys, get attached to some of them and are sad when they die.
Sure.
Aliens, you meet everyone. They all have like a one-liner. I don't remember any of their names. I remember some last names maybe, but I don't know who's who. And then they all get murdered immediately in like the same scene. They're all dead. Every single one of them except for Michael Biehn. And he's crippled. Like, it happens in like so quickly.
But they have such memorable moments.
Do they?
Yes.
It's like Predator though. It's just like one-liners about how big their guns are. I'm like, it's just like the same lines from Predator, just with different people saying it.
Predator,
it just feels like
I
that
think,
again.
it's not quite ethnically diverse, but each person
Well,
each person has a thing that sets them apart from the others. And like,
Jesse Ventura was that he was a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus.
it's part of it.
God. See, like, what does that even... Why did anyone even write or say that? Why?
I don't know. But man, is it memorable.
It is, but for the right reasons?
No.
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 I don't...
It's not a character. It's a outline of a character, maybe. But I don't know.
Yeah, that was interesting. So Scream 6.
Scream 6.
Interesting. Check it out if you like the Scream movies.
I haven't heard if there's a plan for a Scream 7.
There is.
Okay.
There is.
Because I think there's more there with the sisters. I don't care about the rest of the friend group. They can die this time.
It doesn't seem like they're going to.
Probably not.
Good God. I mean, they killed, who was that? Jamie Kennedy? Was that him? Or who
Yeah.
Was that him? The original movie guy, right? Yeah, he was the guy who knew all the rules.
Yes.
It's like they murdered this guy, but then all these other dumb kids get to live? Like,
Maybe he was the one that didn't want to come back.
I blame. You think Jamie Kennedy turned down a paycheck?
I don't know. At that point in his life, maybe.
Only in Bizarro World.
Now he's looking back like, man, I wish I...
There has been no point in Jamie Kennedy's life where he was like, man, I'm set for life. I'm good. oh yeah, people are just gonna keep paying me forever. Oh,
The other movie I saw recently was Spider-Verse, which is amazing.
I haven't seen it yet, so we're not going to talk about that.
Loved it.
I want to see it. It sounds fantastic. Well, it's going to be awesome. It's almost like 3 hours long. It's like pretty 2.5 or something like that. Isn't it really long?
It's pretty long.
That's good. I like
It doesn't
long movies.
feel long, but a whole lot happens.
Damn.
They pack in a lot.
Well, I can't wait for that third one.
Thankfully, it's a 9-month wait, not a year or more. So I'm glad.
Well, we say that now. Movie release dates tend to get shuffled quite frequently these days.
Nothing is set in stone anymore.
No. There's another Marvel movie I haven't seen. I haven't seen Black Widow. I haven't seen Eternals. I don't want to see Eternals. I haven't seen Ant-Man 3. You told me not to see Ant-Man 3. It's not worth it. I want to see Guardians because
That's good. That's a good
Guardians
one.
is like not attached to anything anymore, so it's probably the only one that can be good. I think the only other one I'd want to see going forward would be Spider-Man, if Tom Holland comes back, or if they cast a live-action Miles.
Well,
and
Holland says the best Spider-Man movie is Into the Spider-Verse.
He's right.
He is correct.
He is 100% correct.
Until Across the Spider-Verse, but the Spider-Verse are the best Spider-Man movies.
They are amazingly good.
So I think he wants something that's on par.
Yeah, well, he also said it has to like top the third movie that he did.
Yes.
And how do you do that unless you get Toby and Andrew back again for the whole thing, or get a live action Into the Spider-Verse Miles in your movie?
You don't need to like, if you can make a better movie, it doesn't need to like top it dramatically. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. But you don't need a bunch of guest stars.
That's true.
You just need a well-done movie.
Which they used to be capable of doing here and there. And
Yes.
I think they just need to stop trying to connect them so hard. Like, I think that's really like so many people are stuck in this, what the hell do we do after the blip?
I think they're,
And like no one knew what to do with that, to the point where now they're flat out saying we're just ignoring that it ever happened. It's done. We don't care anymore. It's like, and that's the only way they can do it, because otherwise every movie would still be about that. It would still be in real life, in this real world they're trying to make, everything would still be about that. The world would be in pandemonium.
Yeah.
No one would care about anything else happening.
Yes. And that's what, I don't know if you watched the Winter Soldier Falcon show.
That's
Like,
one of the last ones I
They
did
at least
watch.
tried to address it, but
Yeah.
I could bitch about the blip for an entire episode.
Oh.
It is the dumbest decision they've ever made.
I don't think its decision was dumb. I think undoing it immediately and expecting everything to be fine was dumb. Undoing it was dumb.
The way they undid it, because of Tony. I'm going to blame Tony, but really it's Kevin Feige.
Well, that's how you say that? I've been saying Feige this whole time.
I believe everyone else says Feige.
Okay.
I'm going with the crowd on this.
Or is it like the yogurt Feige? I don't.
I don't know.
Tony Stark is to blame for everything that happened up until that point in the Marvel Universe, though.
So
Every
much
bad
is
thing that
Tony's fault.
happened because
So
of it.
much of
And even in the movies afterwards, it kept happening bad because of him. Like every Spider-Man movie almost happens because Tony was an idiot.
But we're going to fuck up the entire universe so that my daughter can live.
Yeah.
What a dick. Just a fucking dick. Anyway. So, we're not going to talk about the blip.
Yes, that's a whole nother can of beans. Maybe we talked ourselves out on this one. Oh my God.
I think we've opened the door for several new topics.
We have. I think we need a Meg.
Oh.
We
That'd be nice.
need Berg to sit in the back and direct us with like note cards.
But you say
questions.
the Meg, and I know who you're talking about. But
You thought the Jason Statham giant shark should jump up
the immediate image was Statham kicking a shark.
That's the size of a house. I read those books when I was a kid.
Oh my God.
And the kid in me was like, these books are amazing. And then I saw the first movie and I was like, that book was terrible. And the sequels were worse. Oh,
I'm gonna see it.
Oh.
I'm gonna see it. Because at that point, like, if you
Well, it's got Jason Statham in it. It'll be at least hilarious.
If you put Statham and a megalodon in the same movie, the bar no longer exists. The suspension of disbelief is in the parking lot.
At least 2 megalodons.
Sure. I didn't watch the
possibly
trailer.
2 giant squid,
I didn't watch the trailer.
and a whole plethora of other weird sea creatures.
Perfect. Amazing. Sign me up.
Oh, it's ridiculous, and it's going to be hilarious. It's
'Cause for
Fast
that-
and Furious, but with sharks.
Because for that, I just go in and I just accept it all. Be like, yep, this is happening now. This is happening.
I'm hearing already that the new Indiana Jones might be worse than Crystal Skull, and all I needed to hear was time-traveling Nazis to think, yeah, probably. Doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound good at all.
Well,
No. I remember
it's a good
Indiana
movie.
Jones movies when they like had locations and sets, and now they're all just like the prequels from Star Wars. I feel like the whole movie is just a green screen.
It's
It
all
looks
Mandalorian
bad,
technology.
but it's not good looking.
no.
Sometimes that looks good in the indie movies. I don't know why that such a big franchise looks so bad. Like every trailer for this movie, it looks like
terrible.
a horrible like B movie. I'm like, why? Like,
There's
I
2
don't
carts that are going down the street.
Yeah.
The whole thing looks awful.
Yeah, that's the scene I was talking about, where he like the one gets smashed right after he's like whoop, and steps into the other one. I'm like,
It looks terrible.
Or where they dive out the plane. I'm here to rescue you. He's like, oh, I'll rescue you. I'm like, oh, why? Riding a horse through the subway. I remember you loved that scene.
I did.
I remember when we first saw that trailer, you like laughed out loud.
did. It's amazing. It's so stupid. I love it.
It's so stupid.
It's like one of my favorite trailer moments ever is Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter. And he just so dramatically swings an axe and the tree explodes. And I laughed every time. You could still show me that clip. I laugh my ass off. It's so amazing. I hope these cameras are still running.
Oh, I'm sure they probably are.
Okay.
Maybe we should wrap it up though.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were gonna do a half hour. I guess you get an extra special long episode for this.
we tried wrapping it up like 12 minutes ago.
We did. It didn't work.
It didn't.
It didn't. Oh well. Well, thank you for joining us for that. You'll have to let us know what you thought about any of those things. And, we'll continue to not think about what we're going to talk about next time and talk about random things again.
We had 3 bullet points,
We did.
and we made it last.
We did. I think we answered all 3 of those bullet points in the first 15 minutes.
It's really only 2. shipping and steel.
Oh, well.
Anyway.
That's all right. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's fine. Tune in next time. I don't know when the next one's going to be. Hopefully soon. And until then, I am Dan.
Toast.
And we are Void City Reviews. This is the podcast or something. Maybe we'll cut that. Cut all that. Cut it all. Cut it, cut that.